to do some pre-health advising, and I've been doing pre-health advising for about 17 years. So I've really enjoyed doing it, and I'd be happy to talk with any of you. I have, and I'm working with Dr. Saputo, who's about to introduce herself. We have office hours together from 2 to 4 on Friday. And if you are a chemistry or biochemistry major, you can sign up through the Eagle Success Center, and otherwise you can email me. And are our emails up on the Brockport site?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So you can reach me that way.
Dr. Saputo, you're up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Saputo. I'm in my second year in the chemistry department, and I'm teaching mostly biochemistry and a little bit of gen chem and nursing chemistry. So please feel free to ask questions, and I look forward to seeing you.
Great. Welcome, Dr. Saputo. And we also have other members of the Pre-Professional Health Advisory Group. That includes Dr. Pelletier, who's the chair of the biology department, Dr. Subota, and we also have a psychology professor and chair, Dr. Amanda Lipko-Speed, who had a conflict tonight, so she's unable to join us. And we also have Dr. Monier, who is chair of physics, who is also an advisor for Pre-Professional Health. One thing I would like to mention on this slide is that if you are in one of these departments and are majoring in one of these areas, you are anticipating application to med school, dental school, vet school, optometry, pharmacy, etc., then you should certainly schedule an appointment with the person who is most closely related to your area. And if you don't have a person like that, you can certainly reach out to me directly at lcook@brockport.edu. And I can help get you connected with a pre-professional health advisor who can most assist you in your process.
Come in and get this money, so when the pizza man comes, you can tip him.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I mean, when my food comes in that order, you can tip him.
Yeah.
Is there somebody who I'm gonna mute somebody? There you go. All right. Got a little background noise there. Okay, so Zala, how about you introduce yourself and what you bring to the Pre-Professional Health Advisement Program?
Sure, I'm Zala Kennedy. I don't know if you noticed in my background, but I did switch rooms. So I'm Zala Kennedy from the Academic Success Center. I'm an academic advisor there. And primarily I'm really sometimes a sounding board for students that might want to reevaluate, what their career path is. Or if you wanted to take a look at other majors that were available within the health fields, please don't hesitate to start those conversations with me, or use me as a point person to really start and figure out where you might want to reshape your path. Or if you don't know your path yet and you want to just explore what other options you have at Brockport, feel free to tap into me too. Anything else that I missed?
I think you really covered it. I mean, I send students to you all the time who may have been on a particular track and would like to explore others, or who really aren't sure what they'd like to do in the healthcare field, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes people just want to talk about other major options. So you're very helpful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And yes, I try to keep in the loop with all the other things going on when it comes to pre-med, pre-vet, and all other health areas. So yeah, feel free to start that conversation with me. And you can find me on Eagle Success too. We use the appointment scheduling on Eagle Success too.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Everyone, if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand in Teams, and I will certainly stop the presentation and give you the mic. All right. So for pre-professional health, I wanted to start this program off by just, first of all, saying that this program in general is not targeted to people pursuing nursing. The nursing school has their own advisement crew, okay? The pre-professional health advisement program is instead geared towards students pursuing medicine, dentistry, veterinary school, optometry, pharmacy, those types of fields. We meet with students very early in their time here at Brockport. And so if you are a freshman, I highly encourage you, again, to reach out to the pre-professional health advisor that most closely aligns with your major, or myself, to have a conversation or to start that conversation about what you want to do, what your plans are, and we can start to plan a trajectory to get you there on that path. It is a process that takes multiple years. This is not something that someone can, suddenly decide one day they want to apply to medical school and expect to have already accomplished, in most cases, what is necessary to do so. A select few might, but in most cases, it's very intentional in your choice of activities and in how you pursue your goals. First and foremost, your academic preparation and your GPA has to align with those goals, right? So if you want to go to medical school, your prerequisite coursework might be very different than if you want to go to pharmacy school, and the necessary GPAs might be different. So that's why it's important to have those conversations with your advisors. Your standardized exam scores matter, and in many cases, your pre-professional schools that you will be applying to will see all of your exam scores. So some students think, oh, I'm just going to take it and see how I do. That isn't always a good option for students, because that first, trial score in some pre-professional programs will be seen by the admissions committee. And you might have to explain to them why you did so poorly the first time around. So standardized exam scores, you should have those conversations with your advisors. You should check in with your advisor to make sure that you've taken the right prerequisite courses before sitting for a standardized exam. The MCAT, the PCAT, I'm blanking. What is the veterinary school one called?
Oh, they just are taking the GREs, but the DAT.
The DAT. Good, thank you.
For dentistry.
The dentistry, DAT school, and then some PA schools are beginning to require a content exam that is not any of those that we just mentioned. It depends on the school. So my point here is that you need to be ready to sit for the exam and have all the appropriate coursework before you go to spending that money and all that time studying to get the best score that you possibly can. And then when you sit with a pre-professional advisor, one of the things that we are going to ask you is what kind of experience are you pursuing? These careers, when you apply to these schools, the admissions officers want to see that you are committed to that particular career and that you understand the path and what you are, pursuing as a career goal. And the way that you can do that is by pursuing experiences in the workplace with patients. If you're going to go into medicine, you definitely want to be working with patients if possible. Shadowing physicians is a good early thing to do to see if you even like what a physician does. Or if you want to be an optometrist, shadow an optometrist and see what they do. Many students, through their shadowing experiences, decide, oh, I really don't think that's for me. And shadowing can really give you some perspective that can shape your decision making as a student. Leader, community service, and or other types of engagement activities just demonstrate selflessness and motivation for the greater good, and a tendency to put others' needs before your own. Especially if you're going to pursue a healthcare field, right? Putting other people's needs before your own needs to be a priority, and you can show that you have those characteristics and qualities through the experiences that you pursue during your 4 years of undergraduate work. And then finally, another thing that many students have as part of their portfolios is research. And research can come in a variety of different flavors, I should say. Sometimes students pursue off-campus fellowships to spend a summer in a lab, like at Roswell Park Cancer Institute or University of Rochester. Other students will pursue research here at SUNY Brockport with a faculty member and work during the semester or in the summer months as well. We have a college honors program. We have some departments with departmental honors programs, and you might be able to pursue a thesis as part of your research experience. Research gives students an understanding of the process of science, and whether you become a dentist or a doctor or a veterinarian or a physician's assistant, you are practicing science when you are interacting with people in a healthcare setting. And so that is an important skill to have. Not only that, it illustrates your ability to work with other people, in a team type environment, and persist despite, failure time and time again. Any of you who are actually working in a lab, you understand what I mean by that. Any questions so far from our guests? Do any of the pre-health advisors want to add anything to this slide, or did I cover it? Silence from the peanut gallery.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think that's good. Sometimes students want to do all of this, get going on everything, and they are first semester freshmen. And we generally recommend that you start with one thing, maybe a club that's of interest to you, and ramp it up, because the most important thing that first semester freshmen can do is find their sea legs here at Brockport. Make the successful transition and do well in your courses. Maybe start to get to know an advisor or even one of your course instructors. Eventually, you will need letters of recommendation. So you can do everything, just not all at once and not as a first semester freshman without disaster.
Perfect. That's great advice. I totally agree. All right. So SUNY Brockport supports for pre-professional health students. Like Dr. Logan said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So slow and steady wins the race. You don't need to do everything all at once, especially if you're in your first or second year here. Get connected with that advisor. That is important, and meet regularly with them. I would say a minimum of once a semester, in addition to your typical course registration meeting that you have for fall and spring classes. You can join the pre-professional Health Blackboard group. And if many of you are already in that group, but if you aren't, in the chat for this meeting, I put the PreProfessional Health, it's like an intake form. Let's see, I can't find it. Teams is, oh, there we go. I can't, oh, there's the chat. Okay, it's in the chat. If you go to the meeting chat and you scroll up, you know what, I'm gonna copy and I'm gonna paste it once again. Oh, thank you, Dr. Sapota. I think you did it for me. If you click on that link, then that kind of tells me a little bit about you, and I can get you connected with the Blackboard group, and I can reach out to you and schedule a meeting with you to answer some questions virtually one-on-one. And I can get you connected with all of the forms, and that Blackboard group has forms. It has links to webinars. It has lots of advisement documents on course progression. It has, I send all of the emails to the PreProfessional Health students through the Blackboard group. And so if you're connected to it, then you're basically on our listserv. We as advisors are going to help advise you for your applications to these programs. Just because you're a bio major or just because you're a biochem major doesn't mean that the courses that are outlined on your degree audit for your major aren't necessarily going to be the same requirements as those for these additional programs. Okay, so if you want to go to medical school, you probably are going to have to take more courses than you had originally planned in your path to graduation if you were just a bio major. If you're a bio major and you have a minor in physics and you are a college honors student, it gets trickier, and you need to meet with an advisor early so that we can help map out all of the requirements for your academic requirements here at Brockport, but also for your applications to these pre-professional programs. And one of the ways, and I'm going to talk about the pre-professional health minor in a minute, but that is one of the ways that we've assisted our students in adding some of those extra courses for pre-professional schools while also giving them a minor in the process. We also, as a committee, will help students prepare for their application process. So it's a little different applying to pre-professional programs than it was for you applying to your undergraduate, college choices. There are a lot of pieces that have to get pulled together. And one of the best things that you can do is to work with the Pre-Professional Health Committee here at Brockport to have a mock interview to help prepare you for your admissions interviews at in these programs. We also will review and kind of critique your entire portfolio to help you best prepare for the types of questions that admissions officers will give you as you are on your interviews and applying to those programs. Our students do very well, the ones that get to the actual process of applying and are advised by the committee that they are ready to apply. Our students do very well in the application process. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing to get it connected to us. It's a good thing to connect regularly with your advisor and to get thinking about pulling all of the different pieces of your portfolio together a little bit at a time, so that once you are a junior or a senior and ready to pull the trigger on your application, you're feeling really good about it. Okay, and then we have a club. We have a pre-professional health student club. And Jessela, are you still here?
Yes, I am.
Maybe you could say a few things about the club.
Hi, my name is Jasula. I am the president of the Pre-Professional Health Club. At the club, we pretty much like meet every Friday around 12 p.m. 12:30 p.m. sorry, to 1 p.m. And what we do here, we just talk about anything that have to do with the health field and what's going on around the world. And also we plan about volunteering. That will be a great moment for you to get up there and volunteer your time. And it will be good thing you're doing to the community, and also it will be a good thing for your application. And also we having meetings on the weekdays where we have doctors, pharmacies, and veterinarian, anyone in the health field that I think you're interested in. You can ask them question. Well, I will be making video and posted them on the meeting time where they answer to the questions you have about medical school. Because the thing is, going to apply to medical school as a last summer I was trying to do it, and I feel like I had so many questions and then I didn't know what to do. And the fact I work as a nurse, so I had access to a lot of doctors and residents and medical students. So I had the help to understand things better. And I feel like that's something a lot of you might want the same thing. So that's why I'm trying to have the same opportunity for anyone that is part of the club to ask pharmacy, not only doctors, pharmacies, med tech, anyone that you think you're gonna need to ask question about, that go through the process, that are successful, that can tell you honestly how it was. I think it was a good idea. So this is what we're doing in the club. And also we planning on working with different club, collaborate with biology, other biology club and chemistry club, where we're thinking on doing a volunteer with high school student. Because as a college student, we all been to the point that you know what it's like to be independently working by yourself and online. I take multiple online class before the whole COVID happened. So high school student, when I think about them, they don't have that preparation to get ready for college or to have everything online. So we're thinking of doing a volunteer moment where you can volunteer on Saturday and help them out, like give them tips and mentor them and help them with homework, which I think is a good way to reach to the community and stay safe at the same time.
Thank you so much, Jessa. Sounds like the club is doing really well and has some really nice plans in place for this coming academic year.
Thank you.
In addition to that, there is in 2 weeks, the Pre-Professional Health Student Club is sponsoring a Pre-Professional Health alumni panel. And so we have confirmed a doctor of osteopathic medicine. We have a dentist, I think, confirmed, and have an MD or a physician who's also confirmed. And all of these people graduated from Brockport and went through the pre-professional health program as well. And they will be available to answer all sorts of questions that you might have on the application process and maybe how they prepared themselves through their relevant sustained experience, and how, ask them anything about their job. They've been in these positions for a number of years now, so you can ask them anything. Okay. All right. So the pre-professional health minor, right now, these are the courses that are required for the pre-professional health minor. It's available to anyone. You don't have to be pursuing admissions into medical school or dental school or veterinary school. All you have to do is be interested in exploring, health related questions and topics. And the pre-professional health minor is only 18 credits. This is a pretty easy minor to, complete in your time here. And if you're a science major, sometimes it's a breath of fresh air to take a non-science course every semester throughout your program, and maybe even, in your junior and senior years, squeezing a non-science course in, or 2 or 3, could be very refreshing to you. The courses, many of these courses are the same courses that we would advise students to take in preparation for medical school or dental school or veterinary school, including the Principles of Psychology course, the Ethics course, and the Sociology course. I think almost every pre-health path is going to require those 3 courses. And so they're kind of packaged here in a way such that you got to take them anyway, right? Why not add a pre-professional health minor and take a couple more courses and pad your academic portfolio as evidence, right, that you've studied pre-professional health. Does anybody have any specific questions about the minor? Okay, I have one more slide, and then I'm gonna open up the entire thing to questions. We'll have a Q&A so that we can answer some things. Hopefully we can answer your questions here, and it doesn't require a lot of time. If it does, then we'll have to set up a one-on-one meeting. So this is my last slide, and I just wanted to say a few words about how Brockport is a small 4-year undergraduate institution, right? But our graduates go places. Our graduates are successful, and we love to communicate with our graduates when they leave here. Adam Howard is a medical student at UBuffalo. Joy Wang is a dentist. She specializes in maxillofacial surgery locally in Fairport. And then the picture on the right is Allison Burkhart. She is a medical student in the Uniformed Services School of Medicine with the U.S. Navy. And she's posed there with her dad and her brother, who are also both in the Navy. And so she kind of followed in their footsteps and decided that that was her path to medicine. We send students in a variety of directions. Many of our students do attend schools in New York State, but they have gone elsewhere. UB gets a number of our pre-meds, and SUNY Upstate, Cornell Vet is where a couple of our students, Jackie Walker and her brother Kyle Walker, went to Cornell Vet School. This is a select list. When I was looking for people to put up on this slide, I very quickly ran out of room, and I had to cut. And in my cutting of that, I had to decide where was the most relevant places that I could share with you. And those are probably the ones that, if you're going to Brockport, you might be thinking of these schools and applying to these schools as well. So before I open it up for questions, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and flip my camera on. So does anyone have any questions to ask? We have Dr. Logan here. We have Zaula Kennedy, our Academic Success Center pre-health advisor. and myself and Dr. Saputo, sorry. Student.
I
Yeah,
have a question.
Riley?
Hi, I'm
Sure.
Riley Gray. I filled out the form for the pre-professional health, but I put the minor as a maybe. When is like the latest time that I could like make up my mind? Because I'm interested in it, but I'm like the minor. Do I have to have it as a minor if I want to go into med school?
No. The college allows you to add or subtract minors as many times as you want, whenever you want. You just, if it's in your portfolio and it's not finished when you want to graduate, you have to drop it. That's the only caveat to this.
Okay.
You said you're interested in vet school?
Med school.
Med school. So it's up to you whether or not you want to add it. For med school, you are going to need your psychology and your sociology and your ethics. So you'll have 3 courses towards the minor anyway. I believe, Dr. Logan, that some of those courses on the minor list also satisfy gen ed requirements. Is that true?
Yes. So you are double, excuse me, you are double dipping when you take some of those courses. And in some ways that minor, I can say this because I am one, if you're a science nerd type, it helps to broaden you. And so you have a broader perspective on health and disease, whether you want to be a veterinarian or you want to be a dentist or a physician. And so they want people who are academically very strong, high GPAs, high test scores, but they also want people increasingly who are culturally competent and who aren't just treating the disease, but instead are trying to treat whole people who come from a variety of backgrounds. And so that's part of what we were trying to do when we introduced the minor. And we're trying to, this year, add some additional course choices to it to meet the needs of, because there's a couple of electives in there. So no matter what students are interested in, they could take courses that are aligned with them.
Okay, thank you so much.
Great. Jamila?
Yes, I just have a question of like, I want to go to med school, but like how and when should I prepare for it and when should I take the classes to go to med school?
What's your major?
Biology.
Okay, who's your advisor?
I'm not sure.
Are you a first year?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of this semester, you will be given an academic advisor, okay? And we need to make sure that that academic advisor is either me or Dr. Pelletier, okay? And both of us are on the Pre-Professional Health Advisory Committee, and both of us are bio faculty. Dr. Sabota is retiring, which is why I didn't mention him for you, because he won't be here in the spring. And your question is, how do you get ready to take courses? You are already taking courses for med school. Your Bio 201, are you in that?
Yeah.
And probably a math class too. And you may or may not be in chemistry, but those courses are your foundation courses for med school. And whether you're a bio major or a biochem major or, another major, you have to get those courses that you're in right now for med school. So you're on the right path. Connect with an advisor before you know, you register for classes in the spring and have a conversation about your interests, and maybe we can give you some advice, not only for electives or gen eds that you might want to take in the spring, but also to get you to begin thinking about, you know, what your summer might look like in shadowing, or maybe a club that you might want to join as well. Like Jasula said, the Pre-Professional Health Club can get you connected to those types of experiences now if you're interested. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And welcome to Brockport. I hope it's going well. We are what, in the 5th week already? Any other questions? Miranda.
Hi. So when you were talking about a portfolio, this is probably a little stupid, but so is it going to be a physical portfolio, or is it just going to be pretty much the classes you've taken, like the shadowing, the all that stuff, like?
So it's not a stupid question.
Yeah.
Look, when you apply to med school, I'll give you this example. You have to provide evidence that you've done all of these things. And the evidence comes in a couple of ways, right? So yes, academically, you have to type in every course you've ever taken with the grades and whatnot and upload it to their application system. You also need to write down in these boxes all of the experiences you've had through college. And those experiences, maybe you led a club, maybe you were on the soccer team, maybe you volunteered at an event, maybe you did an honors thesis. All of these activities get logged in your application. So in essence, it is like a portfolio, a written portfolio that describes all of these experiences that you've had. And not only do you document them, you know, I worked with this faculty member on this research project from this date to this date. You have to reflect on that experience. And so we tell students, the advisory committee tells students preparing for applications to keep a journal. And when you have a shadowing experience or a volunteer experience and something really kind of stuck out at you, write about it, because it could become very useful for you when application time comes, not only for documenting the experience, but in reflecting on it and maybe including it in your personal statement. So yeah, it kind of is like a portfolio.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes, I just wanted to make sure, like, if I had to do something now, like you said with that, like, keep track of stuff like that, like, I just want to make sure I was doing that, because, yeah, just to be prepared.
I completely understand. The other thing is, you know, references, right? You, on your most significant experiences, you might want to ask for a reference letter. And so you want to stay connected with those people. And keep them informed of your plans and have conversations with them so that you don't leave them hanging. You won't get a good letter from someone you spent 2 months with in sophomore year and then never saw them again. So build relationships with faculty, with physicians or people you work with who can attest to your characteristics.
All right, that's perfect. Thank you.
Great, Miranda. Thank you.
Yep.
Does anyone else have a question? Jesse.
Hello, I'm Jesse Fleming, and I'm an exercise science major. I'm a senior. I'm interested in applying to a DO program, and I was looking through different programs, and I was looking for the prerequisites, and I didn't really see any sociology or psychology prerequisites, do you think it's still important for me to take those classes?
Yes. Do you remember what Dr. Logan said, things about cultural competencies? Dr. Logan, are you feeling up to talking? Do you want to take this
Yes,
one?
I'm
Okay.
really sorry. I'm so croaky. There are 4 sections of the medical college admissions test. One is contains 60% psychology, 30% sociology, 10% biology. And so you really want to be prepared, not just for the science aspects of the exam, but for this section of the exam. Now, there are ways to self-teach the material, but it's a lot easier if you've had the courses and can be more focused on testing strategies rather than spending all your time teaching yourself the material.
Okay. Thank you. I'll definitely add that to my coursework for next year. Also, I'm just curious, do you know if the hospitals nearby are accepting any kind of volunteer work at this time, or is it really shut door right now?
I think they are. I had a student tell me that they got accepted as a volunteer at Strong. I don't know about the other hospitals in the area, so you could reach out. What year are you, Jesse? You said you're a senior exercise science. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Jessula, do you have something to add to this conversation?
Yeah. The thing is, for Highland, you can totally volunteer. They do accept volunteer people. You just go to it's the same website for Strong Hospital. So you go to that website, there's a volunteer section. You can totally volunteer there. Um, I know right now they're okay of getting people to come for volunteer to open again with volunteers. So you can totally
And the other thing, excuse me, I would say is that we've had a lot of students volunteer at Unity and Rochester General. And one of the reasons is that those hospitals are not close to the University of Rochester and RIT. And so there are more spots open that aren't being taken by those students.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
And also the Strong Hospital that's by the college also is a good one to volunteer to, because they do not get that much residents, because it's not a teaching hospital as much as Highland and Strong.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks. I think that helped me. Thanks for answering my questions.
Yeah, no problem, Jesse. Are there any other questions out there? It's been great to have so many people in this chat. And again, if you have questions like this, feel free to email or to call or to just make an appointment during open office hours. If you find me on Eagle Success, you can just sign up for any open office hour time slot that I have. For this semester, it seems that a lot of students are just booking one-on-ones with me based on their work and their course schedule, and I'm certainly open to that as well. But outside of that, I hope that online courses are going okay for you in this COVID environment. The admissions process for medical school, dental school, vet school has definitely adapted to this new virtual space that we are in. Some schools are being more lenient with accepting online labs and things of that nature, and we do expect that to continue. If you are nearing application process, okay, and you're wondering whether or not you should be taking an online lab, especially Jesse, since you're an exercise science major and you might not have a lot of science background, the courses, the upper level courses that you take in the sciences, we'd probably advise you to get as much hands-on experience as possible. Does that make sense, Jesse? Because I know you're still out there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely, I'm trying to get some research experience with my professors, and
Perfect.
definitely in the middle of the science curriculum right now.
Are you in organic?
Yeah, organic chem 1.
Dr. Logan knows how that goes.
But I taught Jesse in the fall or in the spring in Gen Chem 2. So I'm sure that he'll be quite capable of doing well in organic, as all of the rest of you are.
That's work in progress, but pretty good.
We all are.
That's awesome. Okay, well, if there are no other pressing questions, I guess then I'm going to conclude this presentation. I will stay on until 7 if anybody wants to hang around and ask me a question. I will stick around and hang with you. We can have a conversation. Otherwise, thank you so much, everyone, and have a great rest of your semester. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, I guess you guys are just ending.
Yeah, we were just ending.
Uh,
That's all right.
because
I
we're
made
almost,
my husband do the open house thing.
yeah, I saw that. I didn't realize that your daughter was in the same. She's in Lambda.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ziad is Lambda too. I didn't realize they were in the same class.
I didn't either.
Yeah, there's
Well, now we know. Is
Yeah.
is he 100% remote?
Yes, he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different because he's he's in his bed in his office from 7 till 2 every day, so it's a little different.
Oh, really? Does he
Yeah.
have stuff all day long?
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
And then
That's not what we are experiencing at all. Mary, she has her 2 full in school days, and then the at home days, the two remote days, I should say, she's probably only been in like 1 to 3 hours of stuff.
oh really?
And on Wednesdays, very.
Oh, no, he's pretty busy.
Did you make the team?
I made it yesterday.
I was just checking. My son just walked in for practice.
Yeah, high school soccer.
Yes.
Yep. Last year.
Yeah.
Shall I go to that about it then?
Yeah, I'll be in a second.
All right.
You know that? Oh, he's gone. I was going to ask if he, because today they had the draw for the the UEFA tournament. So he probably knows about it.
I'll have to ask him.
Yeah. Okay. I thought I was gonna I would drop in because we are in between different meetings, but I guess I just missed them.
Yeah, you just missed. We had a pretty good showing though, so I was happy. We had 11 or 12 students at one point. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have to do this for bio when in a week or two, you said?
Yes. So actually, we're doing that on the 16th, Friday. Yeah. 2
Okay.
weeks. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
hopefully have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Lori. I actually had a question for you. Oh, fuck. Really?